How do you feel? How are you feeling today? How do you feel? Such a simple question, but it's one that you likely forget to ask yourself regularly. It's a powerful question to ask yourself regularly, and that is why I am offering this as our mindful habit this week. Asking myself, how do I want to feel? Or how do I feel and how do I want to feel every morning before I even open my eyes literally changed my life. It meant that I could, and I've been doing this for years now, and I don't do it every day. And some days now I do it throughout the day as well. But as a baseline, like I started with when my alarm went off in the morning, before I'd open my eyes, I would ask myself, how do I feel and how do I want to feel? And it gave me this baseline, to this benchmark. It made me really focus in on how I was feeling. It helped me understand why I was feeling certain ways, and that there were actually, good morning lovely, that there were actually patterns and cycles in how I was feeling. And that meant that I was able to slowly but surely start to make little tiny changes and shifts to improve my life, to feel happier. And over the years, through this practice, I've gone from feeling really overwhelmed in the morning. Oh, my cat is always trying to make a scene in when I do a Facebook Live. I'm just scratching on the door. It's meant that I've gone from overwhelmed, feeling like completely out of control, to being on top of the world, to really living my best life and knowing that I want to live my best life every day. And that's not to say that some days the shit hits the fan. You know, some days hi lovely, some days the days do not go to plan at all, and that will always be the case. There will always be things that don't go to plan. But when you know how you want to feel that day, today, you're able to actually make small adjustments. But today, I wanted to talk to you around, because I'm using this as kind of my accountability. As I said, I've been doing this. I've been practicing these mindful habits myself for years, and I want to share them with you now. I'm on a mission to share, to support as many busy, frazzled working mums as possible, to really feel like you're calmer, feel like you're more in control of your life and achieving more of what you want to be achieving in life. And the way you do that is by becoming very mindful and very intentional with your time, creating boundaries, feeling very grateful for the things that you have got in your life, keeping very clear, a clear vision alive. So keeping that vision of where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to achieve in your mind. And you know, we start small. You know, it could be just sitting and making sure that you get a cup of coffee after helping the kids with homework, or a cup of tea or whatever. Or making sure that you watch your favourite TV programme, or get to your yoga class, or are able to go for a walk, or go on a date night with your partner, or and to the bigger things such as paying off your mortgage, to buying the dream house, you know, starting your business, whatever it is, you know, running a really successful business, scaling your business. So it could be anything. But by practicing mindful habits, by creating this toolbox of mindfulness practices you can call upon, you're regulating and soothing your nervous system and your emotions, and you're able to be very intentional and stay very focused on what it is that you actually want in life. Excuse me, sorry, I've had a cold. This week my voice has just gone funny. Excuse me. So I'm using this as my accountability as well. Even though I've been practicing it, it's really good to actually talk through how I feel. I would love to hear how you feel. Like, there's no good, there's no bad, there's no good or bad. It just is. Okay, however you're feeling is valid. And if you're feeling, you know, on top of the world, if you're feeling really happy, that's amazing. If you're not feeling stressed, that's amazing. how can you tap into that? How can you continue that feeling? What are you doing right now? What's happened in your this week, in your day so far today? You know, how have the kids behaved? How are things going? Like, what, notice why you're feeling on top of the world, and see where you can tap into that feeling, anchor it in here to continue that high vibe energy. You will dip, because when those unexpected and challenging things happen, that's what happens, you know, it dips. But if you can anchor in that like higher vibe kind of feeling, then you can you can process how you're feeling and bring yourself up a lot faster, so you're keeping more of an even keel. Now, if you're not having the best day, that's fine too. As I said, it just is. But the important thing here is to acknowledge how you feel. The important thing is to acknowledge that you don't necessarily like how you're feeling, and when you and how you want to feel instead. You know, who do you want to be? The woman that you actually want to be right now in this moment. She's not, you know, completely frazzled and crazed and like feeling like you're chasing your tail mum, whacking mum. Maybe she's, you know, she feels in control, organized. She feels like she's got her shiz together. She just for the record, by the way, even the people that look like they had their shiz together often don't. So just to put that out there as well. You know, they might be neglecting other areas of their lives, for example, and be feeling like they're failing in other areas of their lives. And, you know, so it's how you're feeling right now that matters, not what anybody else is doing, okay? But you want to feel like, you know, you want to feel more energized. You want to feel like you don't get to the end of the day and another day has gone by and you haven't done or achieved the things you want to do. So there's two things here, you know, like there's either you either manage to achieve them, or you accept that you're never going to achieve everything in your day. So I'm talking more like chores and things here. But the way that you can make life even more joyful, more fulfilling, you feel more present in your life, is to make sure that you achieve something for you, something that you really want to do in your day. And that will ensure that you're lifting your vibe and you're getting to that higher vibe frequency, even when you are feeling low. So the question is, like, how do you feel? If you're feeling lower today, how do you want to feel? What's one tiny, tiny, tiny little thing you can do right now to give yourself a boost? So is it that you put on your favourite tune? Is it that you go and grab some chocolate or a coffee? Is it that you literally just take 3 deep breaths to calm yourself? Because that was a big one for me, actually. And I would do this even sat at the kitchen table, when, you know, dinner times and breakfast times were feeling a bit crazy. I would do it while I was cleaning my teeth, before running out the door on the school run. Yeah, like maybe go and hug your son or your partner, your daughter, I don't know, your child, or go and hug somebody. Maybe not a complete stranger, but that might really make their day, to be honest. Maybe just ask them first. Yeah, and yeah, so how do you feel? I want to know how you feel. But as I said, I'm using this as a way to talk through my feelings. So I'm feeling I'm feeling quite stressed at the moment. There's a lot going on at home. My family, my husband and my boys are actually going on holiday this evening, on their own. I'm staying at home to look after our elderly cats. I had a wonderful, wonderful holiday to Mauritius all by myself in March this year, so I am not complaining at all, and I encourage them very much to go. And I've been looking forward to having some space to myself. I'm going to be working hard and finally bringing my Join When You Can mindfulness program to life, to reality. So you can join anytime. It's Unshakable Mama, a mindful journey, an 8-week mindful journey to presence and freedom. So that's like your absolute fast track route to taking back control of your time, your energy, your finances, and your destiny through nervous system regulation. 2 minutes a day, like 2-minute mindfulness exercises, practices throughout your day. And it is so simple, so effective, and the results have just been phenomenal. By the women who have committed to it, the mums who've committed to it, they've had phenomenal results. I have just guided them, facilitated, held space for them. It's all on them. So and I've been looking forward to going for walks, practicing yoga, this, that, and the other. But now I feel really sad. Now I feel suddenly like they haven't even gone yet, and I feel like I'm going to be really lonely. And I'm thinking, oh God, I've actually got to do the work now. I've had an excuse so far not to do it. It's like I've been waiting until they go on holiday, and now it's like, oh gosh, I've actually got to pull out all the stops now and actually make it happen. And there's just a lot of emotions coming through, and you can there's always a duality in emotions. Like you can feel excited, but you can also feel nervous or worried about something, or you can feel happy and sad at the same time. That you can, and that's allowed. Excuse me. But I did get a bit snappy with my boys last night when I was packing. We were packing, and I don't like being a snappy mum, and I'm not a snappy mum very often. But as I said, there's been so much going on recently. With house renovations and like unexpected things, like potentially ceilings falling down that have potentially got asbestos in them, and we're waiting for a survey, and just like a lot of like renovation, like mess and dust and disruption and poorly children, power cuts. My husband's been away for the last 3 weeks on business. He's here this week, but then he's going away tomorrow, but that's fine because he's taking the boys. But yeah, so there's been a lot going on, and I snapped at the boys last night, and I felt really bad about it, and I apologized to them at the end of, like, at bedtime, and I was like, I'm really sorry, like, and this is how I felt, this is how I feel, this is how I felt. I felt like it was only like, I'm not going on holiday. Yeah, it felt to me like I was the only person who actually cared, because they didn't seem to want to help me with the packing. My husband was working still, and I was just like, why am I stressing about getting you packed when you're the one going, and I'm not even going? I'm not even getting the benefits of this. And yeah, so I did apologise, and I explained why I did. So now they understand. I explained to them individually. So there was that, and then last night, my son was talking about the Twin Towers, actually, because they've been talking about it at school, and I said to him, do you want to watch it? Do you want to find a programme about it? So we did, and my husband and I, we got quite teary watching it again, because we watched the whole thing unfold on TV back in 2001, and yeah, I got absolute chills and like goosebumps in my legs and everything, and I was saying to my son, it's like probably the most horrific day ever, because I know there's loads of natural disasters happening all the time, but the fact that this was humans doing it to other humans, and then how the world changed after 9/11, and yeah, so my husband and I, we got quite emotional about it, and I was like, are you sure you want to be watching this, boys? But they were really intrigued by it, and they were interested by it. But at bedtime, they got really, really upset. They started crying. They were so sad by it. And I was explaining to them, it's good. Like, I'm really proud of you for expressing how you're feeling here. And it's important to express how you feel. And, like, we were just talking about it and everything, and just to help them process it. Because when they're little, I mean, my son's 12 and 8, so obviously the 12-year-old's got a better grasp of his emotional intelligence now. But there's a lot in the world that's really a lot to take on, and our children can't always articulate how they feel. So they might kind of act it out in a way that they know, like they might kind of start dancing or messing around, and you think it's really inappropriate, but actually that's their outlet. And yeah, so it's really important for us to be showing our emotions, to be really, really aware of how we're feeling all the time, because by doing that, we're actually helping to role model to our children and helping them to navigate this world, this like crazy world that often does feel like everything's out of our control. And in reality, most stuff is out of our control. But the thing that we can always control, probably the one thing that is absolutely always in our control, is how we respond to any person, any situation, anything going on externally. And so I'm in my mind absolutely essential that we teach our children this. We are open about our emotions. We don't hide anything. Like when my nana died, for example, 3 years ago, I was an absolute mess. But I didn't hide. I did not hide it. I was open about how I felt. I explained the whole process of my grieving process, getting teary now, to my children. And they understood, and they also understand that, death isn't scary as such. Like, they're not scared of it. It's like a part of life's natural cycle, and that it was going to happen. It's inevitable that my nana was going to die. But it's like, well, I explained the whole process to them. And even now, like sometimes like something will just hit me, and and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm just having a moment, And I just think it's so important, because there's so much that our children need to make sense of. So you're really doing them a favour by joining in with this mindful habit and practicing this. And you're doing them a massive favour in helping them to make sense of the world and become more emotionally intelligent, and to make better, stronger decisions from a place of, love, and from a place of, from their heart rather than necessarily from their heads. It's not all about logic in the world. A lot of our decisions need to come from here. My best decisions have come from here, rather than from here, because this wants to keep you stuck. This one wants you to thrive. This one just wants to keep you stuck in survival. So yeah. So that's how I've been feeling. I really, as I said, want to know how you're feeling. It's such a simple thing. I think the biggest challenge about this is when you're going to do it, is remembering to do it. So just start small, just once a day, like in the morning when your alarm goes off, before you open your eyes, maybe check in with yourself, or maybe when you go to bed, or maybe every time you get in the car to drive off somewhere, or maybe whenever you walk you're walking out the house or walking back into the house, or like choose anchor points so they trigger, so it triggers that you need to remember to, or that you've committed to remembering to do it, to practice. How do I feel check-ins? And you will, when you do this regularly, you will start to break cycles and patterns of things in your life that don't align anymore. It is powerful. It's really, really powerful. Now, as I said earlier, I'm on a mission to support as many frazzled working mums as possible to feel calmer, regulated, nervous system regulation. So please, and so they can live their best lives, so they can, achieve more of what they want in their days. Like, we mums, we're not here to serve. We are here to have our own lives as well, and not feel like we're constantly chasing our tails. There's magic available for us too. So invite your friends. There was meant to be a prize draw yesterday, which I haven't done because I got caught up in this packing malarkey and work stuff. So I'm going to do it today instead. So you've still got an extra chance to actually invite your friends, get them to join, get them to come play. This is the game of life. Like, do you want to live your life like that? Up and down, up and down, up and down, and up. and down? Or do you want to live your life like this, where you're like really regulated, you are on an even keel, and it's good. Like, I know life is good now, but life can be even better, and there is always going to be something extra, something more that you wish, you know, those if onlys, or one days, you know, you can make them happen. My husband and I, we literally manifested our dream home and 6.5 acres of land last year within 2 months. We put our house on the market. 2 months later, we were in our new house. It just blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. There was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes leading up to that point. Work that we didn't even really know was adding up to this big, quick move. But it did. Like, we made some really tough choices along the way. We had some really horrible challenges, like my husband getting really sick, my nan dying, and things happening, and then we made some tough decisions to do with like work situations and jobs and giving up my massage business, and just a whole load of difficult decisions, but somehow it all worked out. It's because manifestation is all about the action steps, but the first thing you need to do is actually become aware of how you're feeling and actually feel soothed and regulated. So invite your friends. I will do the prize draw this afternoon, and the prize draw is for a copy of Heiter magazine, which is a really beautiful, hot off the press. I should be showing you, shouldn't I? I'll do a video in a minute. Mindful Living magazine. It's just beautiful. I've got your copy and I've got my own copy, and we've got other prizes as well for next prize draws. So just invite as many friends as you think would benefit from this, yeah, I want to hold you accountable. I want you to I want us to celebrate each other as a community. I want you to feel like you've got this, absolutely got this, and that there is what you want in your life is in your reach. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe sometimes it takes time, sometimes it happens very quickly, but it's all within your reach, because if you've thought it, it's there for you. You've just got to trust that it's there for you and that it will happen, but you have to stay focused on it, which means you have to be very intentional with your time and how you're living your life. So there we go. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. I will see you later for the prize draw, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4 of How Do I Feel Check-ins. Sending you loads of love.